Welcome back to Scene Invaders, episode 391.
Hi,
Good
Dave.
timing, as always, is impeccable. So we have Coach Dave, as always.
Oh my God.
He's only speaking through sound samples tonight. It's a very special episode, guys.
He's like Bumblebee from Transformers. Yes, I will bring up Transformers every episode. I'm not sorry.
How are things, Dave? How's it feel to be back in the office, yo?
Oh, the silence is deafening. It's absolutely wonderful. I am just excited to be here with you guys and talk movies and pop culture.
At least there's comfort. I mean, last time that was not looking like the most comfortable setup, so at least you have a solid.
No, kneeling on a wood floor was trying to get the angle right on a Zoom. No bueno.
I have to disagree. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, well.
Mr. Brad from Canada, before I get carried away. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How's it going, eh?
Good. How's it going, eh? And I've also realized, like, doing this, that I never say who I am. My name's on the screen, but guys, I'm Chad. I know you're here for
Hi, Chad.
Brad and Dave.
Hello!
But I'm here. So, like I said, episode 391, and we're going to hit you with the stuff we've been watching. And then tonight, you're getting your fair warning this early, even though we're not talking about it for a bit. We have talked Deadpool and Wolverine on this channel already and on this podcast already. But tonight we are talking spoilers. So just so you know, if you're not into spoilers, you're safe for now. We'll give you another warning as we get into the movie, but it's just something I think we need to talk about a little bit deeper than what we've been able to. So
I think you've been exposed to plenty of spoilers for the multiple cam versions that are out there that I'm seeing on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok, everything. You cannot escape this movie. So we have to talk about it.
Yeah. And the asshole like clout chasers on the internet who are trying to make a name for themselves by spoiling shit, thinking it's funny, and will unfortunately become successful for themselves from doing shit like that. But
we're not those guys.
Yeah, we are not that for sure. We're always going to be very, very transparent about any spoilers that are coming. We don't want to ruin the experience for anyone because we actually really genuinely love this stuff, and we care about the people who love it and care to tune in to listen to us talk about it. So
well said.
All right. We are, of course, always going to give you our recommendations for the week. And that's honestly always kind of my favorite part. I love to hear what the guys are watching. I love hearing about things that I don't even know about. I see things pop up in the document throughout the week that the guys are watching, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is. And most of the time I don't look it up because I just want to talk about it candidly and like we are here. So tonight we are talking with Coach Dave back in his home environment.
Woohoo!
So there's a small little independent movie. It broke in the fall of last year and then just kind of disappeared with nothing to be seen. There was lawsuits and threats from Warner Brothers, and it's a parody film, and it's called The People's Joker. So the summary of it is it's about a law-breaking comedian who is grappling with his/her gender identity and forms a new anti-comedy troupe with the friends that he finds along the way. It looks like a student film. It's kind of bad animation with good animation, with bad CGI, but good CGI with bad and good makeup and costumes. But basically what it takes like comedy and the superhero genre to task.
Oh, really?
You know, yeah,
Okay,
like
interesting.
It's like the opening is like, like for a thank you to Joe Schumacher. Just like and it goes through like this kid who may or may not think he's trans or not, and confused, and how he deals it with his parents, and then grows up to be almost like the Joaquin Phoenix in the Joker, where he evolves into this next level thing, and he leaves his home and tries to join OCB, like one of those comedy troupes.
Okay.
And it basically, they start making fun of Saturday Night Live and kind of like the basic ways of people make it in Hollywood.
Okay.
is like they have to be discovered, but they're only discovered at this thing that, you know, nobody gets paid for. Everybody works for free, like the pyramid scheme that is improv and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So,
Hey,
and then
sometimes that's how you got to do it to make your way up, man.
I love improv. You guys ever do improv?
Oh my God, nobody wants me.
yes, and Brad.
Well, yes, I have actually done improv on a couple stages and such with
Okay.
some friends, and up on a excuse me, it's what the hell is the name of it? Yuck Yucks. They had an open mic night. I did that once. Very, very intoxicated. Didn't really realize I was going to get called up till I did. Told the story of my divorce, and then when I was leaving, the guy says, "Can you come back next week and do another 15 minutes?" I'm like, "Dude, I've only got divorced once. I can't help you out."
Okay, right. They were
But
like,
I came back and
Daddy.
did a little bit of improv and stuff. So yes, and I have done improv. It's a lot of fun. If anybody feels like there's nothing to do, there's a lot of improv troops everywhere. Go see if you
Okay.
suck. I did, and it was
Yeah,
fun.
there it is.
How come
I
comedy
would.
clubs always have like the worst names?
Yuck Yucks.
Yucks. Snickers,
Let me break
movies,
in here
joke
really quick.
house, the brouhaha. Like, just,
Oh,
Let
'cause
me
they were all
acknowledge really quickly, guys,
built
that
in
it
the
is
70s.
storming. It's storming like crazy where I am, and there is insanely loud thunder. So there's nothing I can do about Mother Nature. So just an FYI, guys, if you hear crazy shit, I'm not dying. None of us are dying. It's
all's
just
well.
Florida weather, guys.
Yes, and
so basically, yes, and this the movie continues, and it's a whole parody on the whole thing, on everything from like sexuality to the movie business and all that. But it looks like, you know, like a couple of your cousins got together with like the video editor and a couple of like, you know, animation tools.
oh, that's great.
I like that idea a lot.
It's fun the way that kind of like Clerks was, is like you're seeing
Mm.
something that has never been seen. It borders on like a bad adult film parody at times,
Okay.
but like it does take itself seriously for what it's trying to do.
Okay.
I think they made it for about, you know, $150,000.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But like a
Damn.
lot of people really put their time into it, and they cleared all of the lawsuits that they had, so it's
that's
now
gotta be
streaming on
celebrated.
on demand.
Like, does it
So
ride the line well to those moments where you know that they're actually meaning to come across as earnest or sincere? Like, do they work?
yeah, it does, but like they don't. It's a little South Parkish where like nobody gets a free pass.
Okay. I
So
that.
like a lot of the stuff that you see nowadays that deals with questionable topics will be handling it with very soft
Oh,
hands.
yes. Okay.
Whereas this just kind of like, this is the story, this is what we're going for, this is this, you know, like
We're willing to make fun of ourselves too. Like, I mean, all of
yeah,
that.
like
I like that.
even in like the young kid when he just, you know, says to his mom in passing, like, "Mom, I just don't think you know, I'm the person you think I am." And then we are going to the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist is answering, "Do you see what you're doing to your mother?" And then they put him on this this drug, which is basically what gives him the grin and the smile of the Joker.
Okay. I
Interesting.
like that.
So
Yeah, me too.
it's
I like the impetus of that.
yeah, if you can kind of get through the very like, you know, fly by the night movie making of it, it's very interesting. It's something you just haven't seen.
Okay.
You know, and you may love it, you may hate it, but you're definitely not going to be like, "Oh man, I've seen this thing again."
Okay, right. You're like,
another one of those.
Yes.
Yeah. So where did you watch this?
So it's on demand. So like most of the on demand
Like
services,
like a rental.
buying it.
Okay.
It's on Apple. It's on you
Okay.
know all those, or you know if you put on your peg leg, I'm sure you can find it. You know that type of thing. Where your there you go, there you go. Put on your patch. Put on your peg leg. Talk to your parrot.
I'm absolutely
Damn right.
buying a patch just in
But
case.
this might be one that I'm going to probably buy.
Okay.
Like if it's a physical, like there's a couple things going to physical media that I think I'm going to purchase this year.
I saw the
just to
TV
kind
glow.
of-
That thing you sent me on
Yes.
Twitter. dude, I need
Like,
it. It's so
I'm going to
dope.
probably end up buying Hundreds of Beavers. I saw the TV Glow, and maybe this on, on physical media, just
Mhm.
because,
You want to
who
support
knows?
this.
Yeah, I do want to support these filmmakers.
Yeah.
Very good.
Like, do you have like a Blu-ray player or anything like that?
Well, I mean, I have a gaming system, and those.
Okay, yeah, same.
doubles.
That's mine.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
ditto.
I think in a closet somewhere,
oh,
collecting dust, I have
maybe.
a Blu-ray, true Blu-ray player. I don't know if it even updates anymore,
Yeah.
but
And I was gonna say, I mean, I think a gaming system is probably the majority of what the people in at least
Oh,
the
it
United
has to
States
be.
probably use as their physical media system.
If they have
Or
a
into
if they have a
remember-
disc option, yeah.
I remember
yeah,
being
mine
young.
does.
That was the selling point, I think, for like the PlayStation 3.
Yeah,
All
well,
in one, yo. Like you can
It
do
was like
all.
you tell your parents, like, you don't need to get a Blu-ray player. You can just get the PlayStation
Right.
3.
and while you're
Come
not watching
on.
Blu-rays, I can just saying, yeah,
Yeah.
come on, help me
Yeah.
out.
Because I have a PS5 Slim, and I think when I
Yep.
bought, I'm pretty sure that there's a version with and without a disc drive. When I went
Yes.
to buy
There is.
mine,
There is.
they only had the one with disc drive available, and honestly, like, I probably would have bought the other one had it not been like that. And it's not shitting on physical media. I think it's so important, as I've especially like in the last probably year, I've realized how important it actually is. But I just don't have any, and it's
Yeah.
an expensive hobby, guys. It's very
Yes.
very expensive. So I've bought a lot digitally and watch mostly digitally, but yeah, there are a few things like that. I saw the TV Glow and maybe a few other things that I really want to pick up and like catch as much information as I can possibly consume about a certain like project or movie.
We live in the time that, like, there's still, when it comes out in physical media, there is all the extras that we loved, and that was
Yeah,
the main
there's
thing about
that.
DVDs back in the day.
Oh,
was,
it blew my mind at first with
Yeah.
DVDs.
It was like stuff that you'd have to like catch late at night on a like Entertainment Tonight of like, oh, it's the blooper reel for Spies Like Us.
Sure.
Do you remember the first DVD you purchased?
I remember buying my first DVD
I
player.
do. I went and bought a DVD player with my buddy Kyle, and this very, very enthusiastic salesman was positive that him and I were a couple, and I'm not worried about that. But he just says, "Well, when you guys are in bed late at night and stuff," and Kyle's looking at me left, and I'm like, "Dude, chill out.
You're like, just play it. Play with
You've been
it.
called worse. You've been called worse."
Facts.
So I bought the DVD player, and the first DVD I bought was X-Men.
Oh, X-Men, like the first live action
The
movie?
first movie. Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
And I watched the hell out of that and every special feature.
Gotcha. I definitely bought a DVD player, like, and they hadn't been out all that long, but it's at the time when they finally came down to around, like, I would say the $250 or $300 mark,
Yeah.
which I mean, back then was kind of expensive. So we're like talking around 2000, somewhere in that area.
They're $20 now.
Yeah, exactly. Now you can get one for like $79 or even if they even sell them anymore.
You show up, you can only find them at like Goodwill.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they give them away if you buy a certain amount of cereal.
I don't remember exactly the first one I bought, but I know in the first like slew of things that I bought, probably within at least the first like handful, was Contact with Jodie Foster. I love it. I'll never not love it. It's a great
I love
movie.
that movie.
And
that's Peak McConaughey. Peak McConaughey, by the way.
I'm okay to go. I'll never. Me and my friend laugh about that so much.
It's math, you see. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It has the greatest shot of all time with the Jenna Malone running to the mirror, and then the mirror takes over the. Yeah, look it up.
It's a great movie. Like, if you haven't seen Contact, guys, somehow if you haven't seen it, watch it and just let it take you away, because it's great science fiction, great sci-fi, just great drama.
Yeah, I think the first DVD I got, I didn't want to close my eyes. I didn't want to fall asleep.
Oh,
because it was Armageddon.
Oh,
that was so bad.
I haven't seen that movie in forever, but
Michael Bay doesn't understand that you can't have fire in space.
But you can have guns.
It doesn't.
You can
have space guns.
You can have Gatling guns on space pods in where you don't need them. And then after you shoot your way out, somebody inexplicably says, "That's where we do it where I'm from." Where the hell are you from?
they doubled down on their own logic of like, no, we can't train astronauts to drill. We have to treat drillers to be astronauts. Wait, you
dear.
mean the guys that are just making a hole in the earth? So we're suddenly going to teach them MIT level mathematics and
They're
put
just
them in
busy being
space?
logical as fuck.
Hey man, that was a great slice of American cheese.
Oh no, I agree. And I'm almost maybe I'm confusing this with another movie, but I think there was another sort of like, I don't want to say it like competition movie, but another movie out around that time called Deep Impact.
Deep Impact.
Oh, love me some Deep Impact.
Better.
I always like that one more than
That's
John
Favreau in it.
DB Sweeney.
I love shit like that. I love those like 90s.
Oh damn, the guy that went blind.
That was DB Sweeney.
Ron Livingston?
Oh. No, I think you're right. Yeah, DB Sweeney. Anyway.
It's DB Sweeney. Listen, as someone who has seen the cutting edge a million freaking times.
I love DB Sweeney and I love the cutting edge. But I'm looking that up. I think it's Ron Livingston. It went blind.
You're gonna have to type faster than me, man.
Deep Impact it's legit though. I love that. I've watched it so many times. A good friend of mine, Mac, who I
love Mac.
So you're listening. Yeah, Mac is great.
This is a
but he knows exactly what I'm talking about when I say that. And if he hears this part of the podcast, he's gonna be like, "Yeah."
Actually, you know,
I know me some Deep Impact.
Ron Eldard. I am so sorry.
Ron Eldard. That's it. Not Livingston. Excuse me. Eldard. He was.
Now who that is. So like
we were both wrong, but like I was way more wrong because I doubled down on it.
I was the wrongest. I don't even know who Ron Eldard is.
Bad movies like The Roadie and all this stuff, but he always did a really great performance.
And he's the guy who went blind, right?
Men Behaving Badly. Men Behaving Badly is what he was in.
Is that right? Was
yes,
his character Partenza in the movie? Coach,
he was.
What am I looking?
Some douchebag that dated Justine Bateman, and his roommate was Rob Schneider. But I know him from Son of a Woman. Son of a Woman, who was the cop that pulled Al Pacino over for speeding.
He was in another hockey movie called Mystery Alaska. He was
Mystery Alaska. He was Skank.
Who would bang everything in town. And he was in ER.
I swear to God, you're making me Google on my phone right now.
This is the Ron Eldard podcast. You guys know that, right? The Ron Eldard Appreciation Podcast. We got to get him on. I haven't seen him in everything. He'll come on.
Oh my God.
It's funny because he like looks like DB Sweeney with like blonde hair.
Okay, right.
Was he in that alien abduction movie as well?
Yes. Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky. Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen that in forever.
Fire in the Sky kept me out of the woods for a while. I'm just like, I don't want to wake up with cellophane over my head.
Oh God, that was terrifying. That was terrifying.
I haven't woke up with cellophane over my head since I was trafficked in '96.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not trying to relive it, guys. Sorry.
I made a lot of money.
Okay, right. Fire in the Sky. I love alien shit. Oh my God, we could literally do a spin-off podcast of me talking about alien shit, but we're not going to do that.
Well, one day we're going to dedicate a show of our favorite. We will dedicate a solid show to our favorite alien movies.
Oh, that I love. Okay. Oh God, yes.
We already did that with Dan and Mac and me.
That's true.
Oh, true. Dan. Okay, in case you guys don't know, Dan, the Scene Invaders fearless leader, is an absolute unabashed stan for Mac and me. He loves it. I think you should go on the Scene Invaders YouTube and probably comment on videos about how much Dan loves Mac and me.
Make a Mac and me video, Dan.
He tries to be shy about it, but we all know that he just can't get enough of it. He's probably watched it at least twice today. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah. So I enjoyed the channel with you guys. We're all fired. You know that,
right? So insert awkward segue here. Who next?
Okay, me, guys. All right. So other than Deadpool, which of course we've already talked about, we're going to talk about again. I saw a movie called Monolith. It came onto my radar from. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I like movies.
Monolith.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
And there was there was a creator that I saw who made a top 10 list of horror movies, though I would say Monolith is very loosely horror, but horror movies that are under the radar, like their top 10 under the radar horror movies of 2024 so far. And this one really stuck out to me because I love, like, in more classic, like, thriller, horror, crime cinema, like, when somebody goes to, like, on the internet and you're, like, researching something and you're, like, putting up Post-it notes and, like, making lines between them and all this kind of shit, and kind of, I think, like, what Brad was hoping more for from Long Legs. This movie
Yeah.
really gives you that.
The text
So
and strings and all that stuff.
it's
I was
very
really looking
that
forward to that.
kind of, and it's almost just sort of just a single person, like, one location thriller about a woman who is a discredited journalist for, I'm pretty sure, a reason that we never really quite find out. And she's trying to make it in the world of podcasting. And she's trying to get into sort of paranormal podcasting, or not paranormal, but like little known or like kind of weird vibe sort of podcast and all that kind of stuff. And she gets an email one day from someone who like cryptically tells her to look into this brick and gives her a name. And she starts to like go down this rabbit hole of like searching and mystery and uncovering clues about like these bricks that have been left for certain people around like not time, but like in like her lifetime for sure. And it's sort of like I don't know if anyone's familiar with the film Pontypool, which is
No.
it's like a zombie. It's the weirdest zombie movie I've ever seen. It's like a zombie movie that plays out from the perspective of a radio host who is on the radio, and that's kind of all where you are for the whole entire thing, and you're getting reports of things coming in as this like zombie apocalypse is like breaking out around like in the real world around them, but like you're just sort of getting their commentary and they're like as they gather information. This felt very much like that, even though it's not exactly the same thing. And I thought this was actually like pretty interesting and solid. Like I said, I love to watch someone like uncover the clues and like the layers and see what's next and what's happening and where do we go from here. And of course, as she starts to do this podcast, like it just the first episode is so compelling for people. It just takes off. And then of course, just information is like flowing in. And I was along for the ride. I mean, I don't think it's perfect for sure. Where it ended up, I kind of I'm not giving anything away. No spoilers, guys. Where it ended up, I wasn't 100% satisfied with, but it still was. It's a compelling watch, and it's on Prime Video. This appears. Maybe I'm wrong. I think this might be an Australian movie, and we struggled with this before we hit record tonight. Director Matthew Vesely is what Google wants me to pronounce it as, and then it stars. Hold on, I got to get her name correct. Lily Sullivan from Evil Dead Rise. She played the like band groupie tech wayward sister in Evil Dead Rise. If you know, you know. And yeah, it's pretty interesting, guys. And it seemed it came out maybe like in Australia in 2022. It's just sort of hitting like North America, or at least the United States, I would say, like now, 2024. So it's kind of being treated as a new release here. And yeah, it's a pretty good time. It's not the fastest paced thing. Like I said, it is sort of a one location. You have really just one actress here. I mean, there are other voice actors that I thought were incredible because she talks on the phone, she records that stuff. Again, she's like making a podcast through all of this. So you kind of see her process and how she interviews people and how she gathers information from them. And in order to sort of uncover what is the mysterious thing about these bricks that are happening and why this is happening. So yeah.
What drove her to investigate these bricks?
Well, so she starts off as like a discredited journalist in some way, and maybe they said it. And I usually I pay quite a bit of attention to stuff, but I don't think that we ever get a real definitive answer as to why she's been sort of discredited as a journalist. So now she's trying to like take this love of journalism and storytelling through journalism, into the podcast realm.
Okay,
and I think she's given this
kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it. And she gets a cryptic email from someone that just basically has a name and says something about like brick. And on a whim, she's like, you know what? Let's just sort of follow up on this and see. So she investigates what this name is, reaches out to this person, ends up talking to them, and gets this very interesting story that becomes her first episode of the podcast about when they were younger, worked for a certain family. Like this brick came into their life, and they keep calling it a brick. But it's like a black, impossibly black, like monolith. That ended up sort of like changing how they felt about everything and everything around them. It had some sort of like a pull or a sway over them.
Very
And someone reached out to them to buy it. And then from there, it, like the rabbit hole goes further. So, I mean, she's talking to the people who are buying this and collecting these things and where are these coming from and what's on the inside of them and all of that kind of stuff. And it's fascinating for sure. And I think when it's done right, like that one location and kind of just one actor on screen type of stuff can be done incredibly well. I would not say this was incredible, but it is good. It's well acted, and it keeps your attention through the whole entire thing. Because I mean, as it unfolded, I was like, bitch, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm trying to know.
Kept you going.
Yeah. I'm trying to know where this is going, like what's happening with the monolith. And
That's
you
cool.
do kind of get to a point where you sort of see where it's going. But I still think that the way that they played it it's pretty well done. And honestly, this shouldn't really speak too highly of the movie, but it caught my interest. The house that they filmed this shit in is absolutely, it's a stunner. It's incredible. Holy shit. Whoever like sourced this
locations can make a movie.
Oh, it's like this super modern house out in the middle of nowhere, just like walls of windows, like glass panels that like open up to the outside that is just nothingness, basically, like out into the woods, out into no neighbors, all that kind of stuff. And it is a stunner, and it's incredibly well shot. It's a beautiful, beautiful film that I clearly is not highly budgeted, but you honestly would not know it from looking at it. It just, the color grading looks beautiful, and it's just the color palette's so good. And that sounds so nerdy to say all that, but it just is. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful to look at. And honestly, if you have Prime Video, you have very little to lose. And if you'd like an investigative thriller that has a sci-fi-ish like tinge or element to it, and that is left somewhat ambiguous, I think most people will probably put the pieces together, but there's like an ambiguity to it all that does like leave you with some things to discuss if you watch it with a friend, or like I said, the person I got this recommended from on YouTube said that they watched it with a friend or their mother or something like that, and they like kept pausing the film while it was playing to like talk about, okay, this is where we are, cool. Here's our clues right now, like where is this going, what are we doing? And yeah, it's just something that would be fun to talk about. It's 90 minutes, man, easy breezy, 90 minutes in and out. Yep. I was like, Brad's gonna like that. And it's honestly, even though this was on like a underrated horror of 2024 list that I grabbed it from, it's definitely not scary, not in my opinion. It can be a little bit creepy. It's just more mysterious than anything. So this is not going to be something that's haunting anybody's dreams at night, I don't think. And yeah, a good time, man.
That's cool.
I enjoyed it.
That's cool. Prime Video.
All right, we're moving on to Brad from Canada. Brad, let's go.
I didn't watch anything from Prime Video, but I did check out some Apple TV, and with that, I checked out Time Bandits. Now, Time Bandits is a movie from the early 80s that pretty much, well, the title is what it is. They are various bandits from various times that are come together to source out through the time stream and steal stuff. That is, I remember seeing this movie, like I said, in 1983, 82. So I was like 7 or 8 years old. It was a great movie. I remember scenes from it. And this is director Taika Waititi's retake upon it. Now, people are pretty... Taika Waititi polarizes a lot of people.
I can't remember the film that put him on the map.
Oh, there was, I think the film, it was probably What We Did in the Shadows.
Yeah, What We Did in the Shadows, Hunt for Wilder People.
Hunt for Wilder People, Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit was kind of the big one that gave him cred.
And then there was a Thor film, Love and Thunder.
He was did Thor Ragnarok, which a lot of people disliked, but more people loved, which catapulted him to do Thor Love and Thunder, and he just ran with what everybody loved, and then it turned into everybody hating him because of Thor Love and Thunder. Not a good movie, whatever.
I haven't seen. That's one of the very rare Marvel things I have not seen for some reason.
It was,
I don't have a problem with it. I just haven't seen it.
But he also did Thor Ragnarok, which was
Thor Ragnarok.
I like that one.
Was very critically acclaimed. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Well, Taika Waititi has a definite sense of humor and a different writing style, and it kind of fits with this. It stars Lisa Kudrow, who honestly I'm not really a fan of.
Oh wow, okay.
I don't dislike her, but I was just kind of like, I don't see the appeal.
She's the same person all the time.
I didn't like her in Friends, and I was a big Friends fan. My mother and I used to watch Friends all the time, and I remember at the end of every episode, my mother would look at me and say, "Nobody would put up with that."
Right.
And I'm like, "What?" She went, "That dizzy blonde bitch." I'm like,
oh yeah.
He said, "Nope. Like, I don't understand the title Friends because nobody would be friends with her. They would drown her in a shallow puddle." I'm like, "All right, Mom, good to know."
And I actually agree
you're right.
with you for the most part on her. I would definitely recommend two things. I'd recommend Roni Michelle's high school reunion.
That's
she
classic.
Plays a ditzy blonde.
Yeah,
and the comeback. And the comeback.
I've heard good things. I have not seen it. She's been on a few podcasts recently, and she has. I don't know. Like I said, I never really saw the appeal, but she really works with this, and really fits in with the way Taika Waititi writes.
Okay.
It is about a bunch of bandits that steal a map from quote unquote the supreme being so they can time hop. Now, this map allows them to find portals that will take you through the Aztec, prehistoric, all these things. And all their goal is to steal stuff. Well, along the way, they run into a child named Kevin. Now, Kevin is the perpetual nerd. He rejects technology. He loves history. So they accidentally bring him along. And because of his history knowledge, he's kind of like a soothsayer. He can say, well, yeah, I know what this is. I know who that is. This is what happened. Mm-hmm. So he kind of helps people along the way. And through Taika Waititi's writing, it's like Kevin, the young man, is very discounted, very ignored, and played for the butt of a lot of jokes. If you're into that, if you're into the quick quips, like when they're building Stonehenge, he comes the actual original building of Stonehenge.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he says, well, is it for a calendar? When you put the top stone on it, does it do this? And he's like, well, we'll see. And then a stone will fall and crush a slave. He's like, well, we need another slave. Get another slave. He says, you too. You got your fingers unstuck yet? And there are two slaves with their fingers under like a big stone.
Okay.
And they're sitting there screaming. And the guy's like, no, can't get his fingers unstuck yet. That's what we told you. Can't move it. And yes, it's that accent. It is that,
okay, Brad.
that quippy
Brad kind of serving thespian tonight.
Playful accent that you either love or hate.
Yeah, I like it.
I really didn't expect to enjoy this. I am a Taika Waititi fan. I loved him in Free Guy. I loved him in What We Do in the Shadows, the Thor movies, all that. I am a fan. But
so let me ask something really quick. I have never seen guys. Hi. I haven't seen a whole bunch of shit, like just people in general. I've never seen Time Bandits from 1981.
81?
I think so.
Is anybody looking that up yet? I haven't looked it up.
I think Coach might have verified.
Yeah, 81 is when it came out.
Okay, so it was 82 when it came on VHS.
Yeah, that sounds.
That was legit. Back in the day. So yeah, I was.
So I've never seen
young man. I was 7 when I saw it.
And I wasn't born. No, I'm just kidding. That's lies from Satan right there.
Shut up.
But no, I've never seen that somehow because there are all kinds of classic things that I haven't seen. Was that based on a source material like a book?
No, it was actually a gentleman from Monty Python wrote it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I
So then this
cannot
is just basing
remember the
itself off of
name.
the movie
Big
and kind
Terry
of like taking
Gilliam
that.
Yeah,
directed
Terry
it.
Gilliam. Terry Gilliam actually
Okay,
wrote it and directed, a Monty Python alum.
gotcha.
So I don't know. Taika just he's there's 4 episodes out, and I watched the first episode, and I was like, okay. Then the second episode, I was like, that's kind of
You're like,
funny.
I'll try it again.
And then the third one, I was like, oh my god, it's Charm City.
Okay.
It is very quaint. It is charming, and like I said, I'm not a fan of Lisa Kudrow. This probably won't make me a fan of Lisa Kudrow, but she fits with the writing, with the storytelling, and like I said, there is and their Time Bandit crew. You got her, who is the
Mhm.
leader, but I'm not the leader, but I'm kind of in charge. You have a empath who, he's just kind of faking it, but she's really entertaining. A thespian, of course, uh, who will put up a fake mustache and says, "Oh, now it's me. You didn't recognize me, did you?"
Right. My
The
favorite.
map reader, who is really entertaining because he doesn't really know what he's doing. And you have a barbarian who has, quote unquote, the strength of at least 7 average men.
7 average. I like that it has to be specified as
So
average,
much to the
guys.
point where Lisa Kudrow touted, well, you guys are screwed if you want to fight us. He has the strength of 7 men, and then he is pulled about on a stake, and he's like, "There's 8 of them." So
There
yeah,
it is.
it is playful, and
So where is this
really,
airing?
it's on Apple TV.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, I forget,
Apple TV,
guys.
which is ruling all television.
Yes, it is. And I was
Honestly,
gonna say, in case you haven't caught on, guys, like Coach and I are in the US. Brad is clearly from Canada, as his name states, and there's not really. It doesn't seem a whole lot of overlap in streaming, and or at least like it's called different things in different places and whatever. So sometimes it's
we
a
all
little
get
bit
the
hard to
same
nail down.
stuff at different times.
But
Well,
Apple TV seems to be
yeah.
pretty like universal, and
If it's good and you've never heard of it, it's probably on Apple TV.
yeah, that's
They do
Exactly.
the worst job of promoting.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do, because they're Apple and they don't need to. They have all the money. But I'm actually, it takes a lot for me to get invested in any TV shows. They
sure.
have to hook me from beginning. This
Same.
did not hook me, but it grew on me because I am a Taika Waititi fan,
Mhm.
and I am glad I watched this.
Well, it had
And
that special something that clearly brought you back at least for like the next
it's
episode.
honestly so weird. I was expecting not to like this because, as I said, sorry, Miss Kudrow, I'm just I'm sure
We hate
you're a
you, Lisa. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sure you're a lovely person and all the rest. I don't get you, but I get you in this because it just seems like it works. Her timing is very well with the material that's written.
Sure.
And there's a
And
supreme evil to chase them down, and there's demons, there is just all manner of what seems like dark crystal entities that are trying
okay.
to get this map, and a godlike creature, and
So
time
how does
travel. So, man, come
how
on.
does the tone of the show compare to the tone of the original movie?
The tone of the show is a lot lighter.
Okay.
You never really think that they're in peril.
Okay.
With the movie, you thought that, oh my god, they're in danger.
Yeah,
Okay.
They are in danger. You don't really think that they're in danger, but you're along the ride because they're in a lot of fun, is what they are.
Well, too, like with the show, you got episodes ahead, so like there
Yes.
can be some danger feeling, but you also know they got to get these like 8 or I don't know how many episodes Apple TV generally does, but like they got to get these episodes out, so maybe we'll feel danger on
with
the
the
next
enemy. With the enemy, the first thing I thought of is the Emperor's New Groove,
Okay.
because it's a supremely evil person with a lot of banter around him. Like there is one of the henchmen is called Damon, and every time the pure evil says Damon, there's a demon that screams. He says, "Not demon, I said Damon." Along like just that kind of humor. So if you're in for quick quips and just a lot of silliness, it'll do.
Oh, I was about to start
Yeah.
twerking.
Sorry.
Shit. One other question I've got for you really quick.
Shoot.
So with this show, did they release like a few? it seems like Apple TV does this often, where they release a few episodes and
They're
then they start to dole
releasing
them out like week after week.
2 at a time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so I think it's every Wednesday there's 2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
There it is. I
But
think
it's
that's not a
been
bad
fun.
idea.
It's been fun.
Honestly, I kind of like this return of streaming services to going back to having to like digest and wait a little bit between episodes, at
Yeah.
least for certain stuff. I think some shit is just so like don't really matter. Just sit and binge this. And even if you fall asleep through some of it, it really doesn't matter. But for like more substantial things or things that are a little bit more interesting, I think it's kind of cool to like you're building conversation again, like with people. And yeah,
we here at Seed Invaders YouTube like that as well.
yeah,
we like that very much.
we
Now,
very
speaking of
much
Scene
like it.
Invaders, can I do a very Scene Invaders Dan thing? I have to go pee.
Oh my god, do it.
Talk amongst yourselves about me.
Okay, right. Yeah, pee. Hell yeah, on me. But I'm assuming, Coach, that you have seen the 1981 movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It is definitely darker and not just in subject matter, just kind of overall. I mean,
Okay.
From what I've seen of the trailers for the new one, it is, bright color, sparkly, and the old one is that real late 70s, early 80s where bright colors were kind of like hunter green.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So I take it you two then are an Apple TV subscriber.
I am. It's just something that, like, the problem is their stuff is good and you just get hooked on it. Okay. So it's like, now is that time of year where, we have ebb and flows. Like now is suddenly we hit all the awesome little movies are coming in the theater now. Like,
sure.
I think I'm pretty much booked for, like a movie a day for like the next 5 days.
Yeah. No, I get you.
That's coming
There's
out.
so much shit to see, dude. And I'm going to say something that might come across as like wildly controversial to people, but you could literally spend as much money on streaming services as you ever did on cable easily. Oh, and I'm single. I'm taking care of 2 kids. They're dogs, but they're my kid. And I got to think about the shit that I do and like the money that I'm spending sometimes. And I was just thinking recently, like, what can I potentially give up? And at least for now, and like maybe rotate things in and out. And I have canceled my Netflix subscription. I realized that I almost never access it. Every once in a while, definitely not $20 worth. It's almost $20 for me a month. Like almost definitely never not that much worth. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to replace it with something, but it's made me want to maybe try Apple TV for sure, even though I'm not a big series watcher. Like I said, I have FOMO sometimes from the shit that Scene Invaders is doing, and I like mystery shows, and I don't have a problem with TV shows, guys. I just have a problem with knowing that I'm going to sit in front of that shit all day, every day, and consume it like an absolute fiend. But yeah, Netflix was the first and pretty easiest cut for me. I mean, it contained one of my.
I still have Netflix is because I have a daughter. That's it.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, it has a wealth of content for sure. And I mean, it contained one of my very favorite movies of last year, which was May December. Love that movie so much. If you haven't seen it, guys, get you a dark drama on with some really weird music choices. And it's very, very good. But yeah, I was like, this like $18-19 a month. Like, I would rather maybe put that into a couple of other things for right now and see what happens. Like, I don't have Hulu currently. I don't have Apple TV.
I only pay
$7
a month.
Oh my God.
$7 a month with ads.
Oh, gotcha. See, mine, like, I feel like I'm honestly, like, this sounds bad. I'm not even sure if I have ads because I access Netflix that rarely.
Well, no, they gave me an option a while back when ads were introduced. It sent me an email and says, would you like to continue? Because I was paying $14 a month, and they said, you can pay $7 a month with ads. And I'm like, yes, because I don't watch it.
Do the ads pop up in the middle of stuff, or do you just have to sit through them at the beginning?
In the middle.
Oh, see, okay. I mean, for $7, that's not bad, but like...
Well, we joked about this earlier that my daughter, because she is 13 going on 14, she never had to sit through ads.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah, she hasn't like experienced to become spoiled to not having it
with YouTube, and that's at the beginning, and she's almost expecting it. But she was she actually called me and she's like, "Hey, what's wrong with Netflix?" I'm like, "I don't know what's wrong with it." She's, "They got commercials." I'm like,
Oh shit.
"Yeah, it does." And she says, "Well, it didn't used to." And I'm like, "Well, it's cheaper." And she's like, "Yeah, man, take the money."
Yeah.
Like, good girl.
I mean, I've noticed, at least in my experience, like I said, Monolith, I watched on Prime Video. It did have ads, but it was only at the very beginning. I never had an ad interruption like through it.
My
So
favorite
that
thing
kind of stuff, I don't give a fuck. If you want to put a couple ads at the beginning, that gives me time to get my life together and get comfortable on the set. And shit.
my
Like, I
favorite
don't care.
thing about Prime Video is it said, "This video is brought to you ad-free by these two ads."
Okay, right. Fuck. It's so crazy, God.
Okay, sure.
Brought
Go.
to you ad free by Pfizer. Like,
By these two ads, yes. I
actually,
love
I'd get a Pfizer ad, but it'd be pretty funny if I did.
One thing that I don't think needs any ads, because the entire world went and saw it, was the movie we're about to discuss, with full spoilers this time.
Spoiler.
Spoilers.
Didn't warn, guys. We already discussed it on the channel without, and now we're here with. So,
And that is Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, it's really hard to spoil something that every social media outlet and magazines, remember magazines, and people walking down the street has said some line from the movie or some quip from the movie, or it describes some scene. Hey, did you see Wolverine in the John Byrne costume? Yada, yada, yada. This movie has been spoiled ridiculously to the point that my roommate sent me a legit YouTube video of the full movie. I'm like,
holy shit.
This is
like on YouTube?
On YouTube.
About every hour on the hour, it shows up on Twitter of like, screw it. Here's the whole movie.
Here's the whole movie.
My God, dude.
The most pirated movie ever. And
I am shocked by that, honestly. Like,
it's
I don't know.
Ridiculous.
What's funny is that even though it's the most pirated ever, it's making so much fucking money. It's insane.
Yes.
Well, I went
like this could very well be like
the
second R-rated movie to like hit $1 billion.
I think it's going to, because I went and seen it. Last Friday. I'm going to go see it with a friend tomorrow, and I have a date on Saturday to see it again. So I'm going to see this damn thing 3 times.
Yes.
And I have not pirated it yet because I don't have to. I'm going to go see it a bunch of times.
Well, I don't know I just can't relate to wanting that experience unless it's a very high quality version, which I highly doubt is out quite yet. I don't know. I can't relate. I'd rather go to the theater.
I think it's more for the clout. It's for the people that are making clips and trying to get interaction. Like, I don't think people are necessarily watching it
to make content with. Like,
I think it's because again, everybody that I see makes content with, including friends of the channel. I'll say, like, I'm looking at the same grainy footage from like. There's only one video out. There's not like 10 different cam versions.
No, there's one. A pretty good version if you like trashy audio and like some grainy effects. Seriously, go see the movie, because it is worth it. And that's not only worth it just because of the fantastic content, the ridiculous quips, the fun action, and seeing the absolute ridiculous nuclear level chemistry between the two leads.
Yes.
If you go, you will feel the energy of an audience. Now, this is something we've said at Scene Invaders a lot of times. You can go to a movie and an audience can absolutely improve your experience or kill your experience.
Yeah.
There's be a couple of douchebags in front of you with their goddamn phones out. So this is a movie that everybody seems to really want to enjoy and have enjoyed. So, I mean, the basics is, guess what? Deadpool's timeline is going to be killed by the TVA. The TVA is around just because. Now, there is machinations around it. It doesn't really matter. What Deadpool needs is Wolverine to go do stuff, and they end up in the wasteland and they kill other stuff. And a lot of cameos, a lot of fantastic action, cameos from actors.
Fucking Elektra.
that have played
Elektra.
In Fox movies. Blade is in there, and rumored movies of Channing Tatum as Gambit in the goddamn thing.
And guys, let me tell you, I know how much
Logan and everything.
Right. I know how much Brad loves Gambit just from talking to him on this channel. the theater, guys, and I saw Gambit pop up, who is a character that I have to. Again, I'm probably the most casual Marvel person out of all of us, even though I do like the majority of it. When that shit popped on the screen, I wanted to jump up in the theater and be like, "Oh, Brian is gonna fucking love this so much! I'm so excited for him to see this," because it just gave me that kind of excitement. And for like the people who are like already know like Brad and shit, like I just can't imagine what those moments felt like in this movie, seeing characters that you just don't expect.
Well, Blade was always my first Marvel love from the movies because it happened pre-X-Men. It was Wesley Snipes. It was X-rated. It was martial art vampire action. And then to see Blade pop up again, it was fantastic. It was great.
Amazing.
And all the cameos were on point. Listen, I'll be the first one to say the story's a little thin.
Sure, I agree.
Does anybody like I gave a quick synopsis of what the story was? Does it matter? No.
That's not what this is about, in my opinion. This is about servicing fans.
It really is. And is it going to reset the Marvel universe? Who cares? Is it going to pay homage to what came before? It did. It did to the point that the after credit sequence was a Johnny Storm bit, but during the credits, they played Green Day's Time of Your Life, and they showed all the clips from the Fantastic Four, from the X-Men, when Hugh Jackman was a virtual unknown, saying, like, I'm nervous playing this character. And Ryan Reynolds from X-Men Origins Wolverine, who played a version of Deadpool. I'd say played Wade Wilson, not Deadpool, saying how he relates with this character and would one day like to play a full version of it. And it was I don't know, a warm blanket, a curse-ridden, blood-soaked warm blanket, because there is definitely a lot of killing. Now, I was thinking about this as I was waxing poetic about it. There's a lot of Deadpool variants that for inexplicably need to kill Ryan Reynolds Deadpool and Wolverine Deadpool, and it was a great action scene. The song does not make sense, but it works.
But there's a few moments like that in the movie.
I think we can say that the Madonna song goes on a little long.
Yeah. But as I sat back and enjoyed, like I said, the blood-soaked warm blanket, one thing I did think of is, why are they fighting?
For our entertainment.
And that's exactly right.
And that's okay.
And that is pretty much, like, I'm not going to try and make sense of a movie where our main characters can regenerate and regrow limbs.
Sure,
because,
right, exactly.
Because that's the part that doesn't make sense. It's a freaking comic book movie about time travel and dimension hopping. So come on, have fun.
I mean, I think like what all of us said in our non-spoiler review of this is this cinema? No. Is it a fun as fuck movie? Hell yeah. And like when you're in the wasteland and you see Deadpool and Wolverine walk into a cave and out comes fucking Elektra and Blade and X-23 and Gambit and shit. And like you're just not expecting any of that. Like that's the moments that this movie was made for. Like, look, we love you. We love that you love this. We want to give you all of this. And please take our platter of incredibly fun, funny, and exciting like cameos and shit.
If you walk into a diner and you're just like, I really want a donut, and then a donut shows up in front of you, are you really going to care about, the quality of this donut? And, it doesn't make sense how it
that should have been a hot dog bun with icing on it.
Yeah. I wanted a donut. I got a donut.
Hell yeah.
and not only did I get a donut, I got like frosting. I got
a fresh donut.
Yeah, we got pure Krispy Kreme out of the fresh glaze. Like, I mean, this is primo donut. We got what we wanted, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, unless you ask for a donut and they give you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of donuts. If all you ever get is donuts, that's not good for you.
Yeah. Or if you're going into this like knowing you hate superhero shit, you hate Marvel, you hate Deadpool, you hate Wolverine, all that kind of shit. Yeah, this is not going to win you over. This is not meant to rein in or like bring in like new fans or any of that kind of shit. This is like this is fan service.
Donuts is open.
Okay, right. Oh my god, hell yeah.
Isn't it 24 hours? Come on.
No,
mine are
they
not
scale back.
Mine closed super early. Like here in Florida, it's like 6, 7, 8, depending on the like part of town.
I got Tim Hortons. When you walk past it, they throw donuts at you. It's 24/7.
How long does it take to drive to Canada?
Okay, right. You're a lot closer than I am, man.
Ooh,
they pick me up, but like,
listen,
about 6 hours.
A soup sandwich and donut at Tim Hortons with a cup of coffee. You know, let's go back in time, and I'm going to redo my last meal from.
Okay, right.
Wow.
Like, I think Brad, you're a little too close. It's kind of like I can poo-poo Wawa. Like Wawa's great, but like you know, if I could go to Tim Hortons, I'm going to Tim Hortons.
Hey, I like Tim Hortons too. Very Canadian, much like our two leads, which I also really, really liked. Their chemistry back and forth was intoxicating, but they are intoxicating off screen. They are even more efficient on screen.
Well, yeah, they're the perfect. I know I said this before. I can't remember where I've talked Deadpool and Wolverine so much fucking this week that I can't remember where I've said anything. But if you've heard it, you're hearing it again. They're the perfect foil for each other. You have Wolverine who is serious and a little bit more deadpan and might have like a funny line or comment here and there. But that's like up against Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, which is just a joke a minute, every 20 seconds, something funny. And yeah, maybe it doesn't all stick, but it's still charming and it's hard to resist. And they're just like the perfect, like I said, a foil for each other. And it was kind of like a mashup that I didn't know that I needed this badly, but it was just such a delight to watch unfold. Hell, I'm going to go see this movie again in theater for sure. There are a couple of things ahead of it that I'm going to see, but I know this is going to have some longevity. This is another thing I would love to experience, like with the big sight, the sound, the spectacle of it. And this is a spectacle. I know we've said this, that it's an event film. It's not an event film in the way that, in my opinion, Avengers Endgame was. That was like a true ass, like I had grown men in the theater beside me during that shit, like sobbing. I was like, weeping. Are you gonna make it? And this is an event.
No, film, I wasn't.
But a slightly like it's a more slight version of something like that. But that doesn't really. I don't mean to minimize it. It's still an event, and yeah, it's just a delight, guys. Like I can't recommend it enough.
From the opening credits to the end sequence, there is something to see. Deadpool using Wolverine's dismembered skeleton to murder TVA agents.
I honestly kept waiting for that shit to come back to life somehow. Like I was like, "Oh, this is going to be really interesting how they bring this all back."
They used the bones to display the credits, which was glorious to watch. And then you have the montage of him trying to find the proper Wolverine, so he finds a comic.
Well, and that's what was so smart about it, because you do kind of expect
5'1" Wolverine.
Yeah, right. You kind of expect that shit to happen. You watch him like time hop through different like multiverses and shit, which I think some people have gotten a little bit tired of through like
I'm done with it.
Marvel. I'm tired of it too. But what they do is very smart here. And yes, they take you through the multiverse and different versions of different characters and all that kind of shit. But they're acknowledging it. They're giving the middle finger to it. They're saying, we know what we're doing. But it also just really makes it work here. And I thought it was pretty funny. And it was so fun to see like little short Wolverine, like the little short one.
Well, in the comics,
fucking laugh, dude.
In the comics, Wolverine is 5'1".
Yes. So like that was like the thing forever was if you want to do Wolverine right, it'll be like Danny DeVito or who was the guy from Roger Rabbit?
Oh, Bob Hoskins.
Like if you want to do it comic accurately, those are the guys you get.
I did not know that.
He's ugly. He's hairy. Well, he's Canadian, and that's
sounds like my new husband, kind
of. That's what the average American writer thought.
Okay,
you know,
interesting.
And Then you have Age of Apocalypse Wolverine when he's got one hand and the black leather and the big hair. He beats the shit out of him. You have Crucified Wolverine of the comic I used to have the cover of, which is sad and depressing. And then you have Badass Wolverine played by Henry Cavill.
Hell yeah.
Who
One of the best cameos.
The fist load up that he did from Mission Impossible.
Yeah. He reloads his arms and then punches Deadpool through a wall. And then you have the I'm sorry, what was the other one? Oh shoot. Old Man Logan Wolverine.
Old Man Logan, which is still my favorite book of all time.
It's a fantastic story. Even if you're not an X-Men fan or a comic fan or whatever, read that storyline by Mark Miller. One of my high five ever storyline.
They just got so creative with it and started even twisting it. You know, the thought that we're going to get Captain America, who turns into the original Johnny Blaze, or the Human Torch, and then like just they swerve in and out the whole entire time.
Yeah, the kid that played Pyro in X2 was,
and we got the Toad, and
one of the major as Toad was there. Sabretooth, this year's Juggernaut. You know, an actor no one knew, but that's Juggernaut. Doesn't really matter. Nobody cared it wasn't Vinnie Jones or a CGI fight.
I mean, who are your guys' standouts in this film other than, like, you know, listen, we all know Ryan Reynolds killed it. We all know that, you know, Hugh Jackman killed it. We all know that Mary Poppins killed it. You know, like who stood out to you? I mean, for me, the girl that played Cassandra Nova.
Cassie Nova.
You know, I texted my brother. I'm like, I think I have a bald kink right now.
Oh my god,
she looks so fucking dope and terrifying as fuck and with beautiful. That bald head. Oh my gosh, she's beautiful. She's a woman who is built for that shaved head look, and she can pull that shit off big time.
She was,
and I was not familiar with that character at all. I have never heard of who that is, but I would watch literally an entire film just based around just her. And I mean, you get a little bit of that here, but it's really not based around her. She just happens to be sort of like, I think, as Coach calls it, the big bad of this movie.
Bad,
and I thought she was incredible, man. Really, really compelling and interesting,
and look good doing it.
I'm gay, guys, and I thought she was sexy as hell. I was like, I was like, this...
are we having a similar like? It moved.
Yeah. Okay, right. Yeah, this is my fucking the bike riders. It moved moment.
My Austin Butler.
That's right.
If Austin Butler was in this movie, I don't think Dave could handle it.
No, I was about to say, definitely.
But no, she's beautiful, and I mean, she's compelling too on screen at all times. She really, truly, every time she comes on it, she looks like an incredibly small and slight woman, but she has this presence to her, and like, you know, she sort of wields this power that is so like profound and kind of scary, honestly. Like, she can put her fingers inside you and sort of like, that sounded so bad.
That felt so uncomfortable, but so I like just the way
was so
they
cool.
Intriguing.
Yes, intriguing. Way they did that, and then like she goes a certain way with Wolverine, but then it's like she's coming out of the nose of Deadpool and still like just
and Mr. Paradox, and one of the things that really stood out, and I think they made a very conscious choice with this, is out of all the people in the Wasteland, she was impeccably clean and tidy.
Yes.
Everybody else had a bit of grime on them, a bit of like scruff, but she just looked impeccable. And I think that's what really made her stand out for me. And if she didn't look like that,
nonsense.
Yes, absolutely. You knew that she was the supreme one because she gets to bathe or whatever. Her power set,
her clothes are clean.
Was scary. She has ultimate telekinesis and mind control, kind of like Jean Grey, I guess, but amped up to 11. And it was, like I said, we're not telling you guys anything you probably haven't already heard a little bit about. We normally do spoilers. We'll give it close to a week
Yeah.
because we want everyone to enjoy this.
And even sometimes for smaller things, we really try not to spoil as much as we can. If it's not something on a ton of people's radars, we're not going to spoil a movie that literally no one's seeing yet,
Well,
unless it's
if
truly
everyone's
important.
seen it, yeah, guess what? We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So thanks
And
for
again,
coming.
we're giving you
Thanks for
ample
coming along the
opportunity
ride.
to avoid. Yeah, for sure. But I will say too, the character that did surprise me the most, I don't know if it's Brad's influence or not, and I know I mentioned it, but was Gambit. Like the character made me laugh a fucking ton. I would love to see a movie about this character because I kind of don't understand in a way like exactly who or what he is. And
I'll tell
like
you off, Mike.
The way they made him speak, the dialogue they gave him, I was like, bitch, what the fuck is he saying? Like, I mean, I felt like that. And I guess, too, that is sort of like the appeal in some ways of this character, from what I understand. And it made me want to see.
He's the smooth talking Creole.
I didn't even know what he was saying. I was like, what? But it made me laugh. And I thought it was so funny. And maybe it wasn't supposed to be like that, but I got the vibe they were playing it for laughs.
Totally is, because in the comics he's hardcore Cajun and it's dat. So you have to read along with that. Yeah. And it's a lot of mumbling, but he is extremely charming. And Channing Tatum was rumored to play him 7, 8, almost a decade ago.
Well, I was like, this dude is like whipping cards into people and shit.
Yeah, he has the stupidest power in the world, in which where he can charge an object with kinetic energy, throw it at something, and make it explode. He uses
sounds lit to me. I would try it.
He uses playing cards, so that's why they call him Gambit.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, no, I'm into it. Like, bring Marvel, Disney. I know you're listening. Bring Gambit, guys. Like,
I would go see a Gambit movie, and yes, that costume is very comic book accurate, which makes 0 sense, but looks so damn good.
Okay, it's real funny because in the animated, he has this just the sexy Creole, and just he is Big D swinging, and his love interest is this character named Rogue, who has like the sugar, like it is Dolly Parton, it is the pure Georgia South, like debutante.
Yeah.
So to hear them talk together, it's like, oh mon cher, it's like, honey, like it's just,
right.
The back and forth is so good.
Yeah, this actually makes you want to rewatch X-Men 97.
97,
okay.
Yeah.
Just for some Gambit. Yeah.
And I mean, I know, like, we all know where I stand on Dogpool. I love it. Dogpool stan, we know. But one other character that really stood out here to me, and I don't know his name, you guys are going to have to help me with this one, is Deadpool's buddy who works at the car dealership with him, with, like, the dad bod. Oh! Peter could be my husband. I would marry him so fast. It's not even funny. And I'd love so badly that I'd love so much that he just becomes this, like, hero to everyone. And everybody who sees him is like, oh, Peter. And I'm like, yes, I felt the same. I loved it.
Well, it was such a good joke, not a joke of like, that was the guy in the first Deadpool who was like, they had this amazing team up of like Vanisher and Stardust and not Stardust, Starscream or whatever it was. Like Shadow something Star. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was hilarious.
And Peter. But like they never made it a joke. Like it was a joke, but they never like treated him as a joke. It was like, no, Peter's awesome.
Peter's on X-Force.
He has genuine moments here too, like in this movie, where you really like you're just like, yes, Peter, you fucking get it, dude. Like you deserve this. You're cool as hell. People love you, and they should love you. And I just liked those kind of like warm, cozy vibes from him. And like you said, they don't make fun of him. They laugh kind of with him, but not really at
around
him
and amongst him.
Yeah.
And the kid that points out it's effing Peter. That was of course Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's kid.
Yep.
And,
okay, right.
Like Lady Pool is Blake Lively, who's Ryan Reynolds' wife.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Headpool was Nathan Fillion.
Yep.
Matthew McConaughey comes in as Cowboy Pool.
Okay.
Like there's even are you aware of Welcome to Wrexham?
I am not.
So Welcome to Wrexham, Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny and Ryan Reynolds, they bought a soccer team together out of Wales.
Okay.
The best player on the team, his name is Paul Mullen. Well, they had Welsh Pool, who was their best soccer player playing Welsh pool, which was Deadpool with a Welsh flag on it.
I love it. Hell yeah.
And I think this is
And
one
that was
like
Paul Mullen.
Yeah, we're just going to keep digging and finding these little nuggets, forever.
It's kind of like a pop culture phenomenon in a way. Like, I mean, it's one of those
100%.
things that like people, especially like younger than us for sure, that are growing up right now. And this is like in their more like formative years of things as like young adults or like early 20s, that kind of stuff. This is the kind of shit that like when they get to our age, they're never going to forget about.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, and I think they're handling this particular property, Deadpool, even though it's just now gone to Marvel and Disney. Like they're handling it really, really well, and they're making the right decisions and making sure that it stays, I think, in consciousness ever for anyone who's, like I said, coming up. So
Well,
I think it's important.
We're having so much fun just talking about it, and this is just like 2% of the fun that the movie actually is.
Yeah, no, agreed. And like we're
So-
coming at it from three very different perspectives. Like Brad is a super fan. I don't want to say super fan, but like he knows Marvel. He understands all this shit way more than I do for sure, as a very casual fan. And then I know Coach has established himself as a fan of Marvel, like the cinematic universe, but not necessarily the comics. And I think it's kind of interesting to like converge on these three areas and see that we all like really love this movie. You can nitpick if you want to be a bitch and like a hater. You can go in on this shit and like probably hate on things all day if you want to. But if you're willing to just like have a great time and just sit and watch a fun movie for 2 hours and escape your life and like enjoy some like theater camaraderie with strangers, like that's exactly the best movie doing that right now.
Yes. But beyond this comic book movie, San Diego Comic-Con was this past weekend, and some news came out of that. So, Dave, you want to treat us with some of the higher points that people have probably already heard of and are kind of on the fence about, but we get to talk about them right now.
Sure. It kind of runs the whole gambit. We have a couple things like we're getting a prequel to The Boys starring Jason Nicholson and Ava Cash.
I'm really looking forward to that because
there's already 2 Boys shows though, right?
Yes.
There's The Boys, and then it's like
Generation Next.
Generation V.
V. Yeah, okay. Damn, man.
So they share the same timeline, and then this is kind of a how it all started thing with Jason Nichols playing Soldier Boy and Cash playing
Stormfront.
Stormfront, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna keep pushing stuff out. I mean, I don't think that they really the dip in this season has really altered the course of it yet.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask. Is this like a good thing, considering that people seem to be sort of mad?
Well, The Boys is ending with the next season, so we're going to kind of see how everything else shakes out and where they take the story.
They're going for The Walking Dead, like sort of like let's have
The Walking
85
Dead.
different. Oh, okay, shit, I didn't even know.
We have Walking Dead. Dead City is getting season 2 with Maggie and Negan basically going back and forth. And then the companion piece, The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, they're going to Spain for renewed season 3.
I fell off The Walking Dead like honestly about 3 episodes into the first season. It was it was legit not for me. My ex-wife loved it. My coworkers loved it to the point that I used to download copies on my phone, transfer it to a USB, and give it to my lead hand because he was such a damn fan of it. Like,
gotcha. I loved the first
people
2 seasons.
Like it, love it a lot.
Yeah.
Whenever that host got to the fucking like the prison or whatever the fuck, and like he was getting like ghostly phone calls from his wife, I was like, I'm out on this bullshit. But the first 2 seasons were great. I loved it.
It's just kind of petered out, and it is the greatest name ever now, which perfectly describes it. It is The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, they're going to drag that bitch through.
Yeah. Give Robert Kirkman an award for making so much money off a comic property.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and shame the network for really wringing a sponge dry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you got to give it to, there's a character called Michonne. You got to give it to that bitch for walking motherfucking zombies on leashes to avoid other zombies like a fucking boss. I was like, bitch, get it. Yes.
Well,
But then after that, I was like, nope.
I'm getting as much enjoyment from seeing the memes and just the badassery
Yeah.
than I ever would from the show, because
it's just too much.
As I did sit in, as my wife watched, with like the popcorn, munching away, waiting for things, and hearing the gasps and all that, it was like, I would have handled this a lot different, and I'd have been out of there in 10 minutes.
I feel that.
But
where do you go? And see, that's what they've like kind of clung on.
I would have found a spot.
I'm coming with you, Brad. We're gonna.
Well,
we need to, as Invaders, set up a compound that we all meet.
I would have been riding zombies, not walking them like this. These things are not that hard. Like, Jesus Christ, I don't understand the issues these people have. But
I haven't ridden zombies since 2019, but I will.
It was a damn good night. But that's why I don't write the stories, and that's why they don't give me a lot of money, because there aren't really zombies. So piss off, Brad. Shut up.
Speaking of beating a dead horse, we are bringing back Michael C. Hall in another Dexter prequel. I watched the first incarnation, loved it until the end, and then didn't watch the second incarnation. I think I'm using the word incarnation wrong, but I don't care, because
I think you want it
because I'm not seeing any more Dexter.
I never watched the first one, and I know people love it.
Season 3 is peak. Like,
they could have done season 1, 2, and 3, and then ended.
Yes, and it would be one of the greatest shows ever. And it just
Breaking Bad.
Yes.
I just said this to you boys last night. I'm kind of curious, like with Trap coming out with M. Night Shyamalan. Like, of course, there's going to be something, we never know what it is with him. But like, even though I haven't seen Dexter, I do know what it's about, and I've kind of wondered if this is potentially going to go sort of that route where this guy, he's killing people or whatever it is, but like it's for reasons that.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not. I hope he is just one evil son of a bitch.
It's hard to tell.
And you have to get on board with wanting this evil son of a bitch to get away.
Well, tune in next week for our review of Trapped.
Okay, Trapped.
I'm seeing that on Friday, guys.
Let's see. My favorite comedy of the last probably 5-10 years, What We Do in the Shadows. They are entering their final season. So like that was a big thing for Comic-Con for them. The fact that Matthew Berry is now a known entity to everybody is just one of the most amazing things.
He has my favorite line in anything, and I cried so much to the point that I have a clip that I probably won't play, but it's when he was playing the lawyer, and he looks over for no reason and says, "This chap's the hair of a pedophile." So much to the point that I said that at work, and my coworker picked up on it, watched the episode. So for about a good solid year, if anybody had any kind of dispute or anything, it's, well, this chap's they have a pedophile, and you'd walk away. Oh my God.
There's a bunch of clips from amazing stuff he did in Britain, where like I think it's from Toast of London, where he's just going up to like women who are struggling on the like carrying something. He's, "Oh, beautiful lady, you shouldn't be carrying anything. Oh, let me help you." And then like, "Thanks, I'm just trying to get to see my boyfriend." And he'll just like drop it.
Yeah.
And then just walk away. Like, "Here, let me help you with your fish tank." "Oh, thanks, it's my boyfriend's."
Smash. Yeah.
There it is.
He is great.
I'm a huge Toast of London. That's where I got one of my fake aliases whenever like I'm trying to get away from like spam or anything like that, is the name Clem Fandango. It came from so when I want to get out of spam or like I answer the phone, it'll be Clem Fandango. Abe Froman is pretty much the other one. The
Clem
Sausage
Fandango.
King.
It's Sausage King. That's hot.
Oh, you have to look up. I'll send you the clip of
do it.
Him working with Clem Fandango, and if anybody ever looked like Clem Fandango, this guy looks like Clem Fandango.
Okay, there it is.
Let's see. Back to the news. I guess we'll go, and I'll wrap up with all the Marvel stuff. Basically, we're seeing that we're going to get Red Hulk in the new Captain America.
Is it New World Order?
Yes, they changed it to New World Order.
Yeah.
And then I'm
I'm
assuming
an Anthony Mackie fan, and
Yes.
I like Falcon, and I like that he is picking up the shield, so to speak. But it makes me wonder that with, I don't know, Chris Evans having not exactly the greatest success outside of being Captain America, can they bring him back? Because there is some
did
potential.
you say Red Hawk?
Red
or
Hulk.
HULK?
Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk, but he's red.
He's red.
Fuck. Okay,
So-
I see.
so
Again,
yes.
guys, I'm the noob here. I didn't even know that
No,
shit
no.
was a thing.
No.
But that's why it's fun.
Yes.
Exactly right.
And that's kind of one of the things they revealed. They revealed, of course, Robert Downey Jr. is now the big bad of the new Avengers.
As a casual person,
Doom.
I have
Yes.
to weigh in on this because I don't fucking understand this. He was Iron Man, guys, and I don't understand how you're going to take. And I'm not outraged by it. I really don't care that much, but I know people are, and I kind of get it because this was Iron Man. And how are you going to take this actor and now make him into like the main villain of an Avengers thing? It just doesn't sort of track.
I have a theory.
Oh,
yes. Well, then the next Avengers movies are like Avengers Doomsday, excuse me, and Secret Wars.
okay.
This Secret Wars in the comics dealt with what we're kind of dealing with right now, multiple universes, and it kind of set everything on to one path, one universe.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're going to clean up all the.
They're going to like converge it all into this, and then
much like Deadpool said, "Hey man, we are sick of these multiverses. Like we've used it too much. Can we get it done with?" So yes, there will be recasting. There will be a new Tony Stark. There will be a new Captain America. There will be a new Thor, probably.
Okay, I'm not mad anymore. That actually sounds pretty.
Now
it makes sense, honestly.
Why did they bring Robert Downey Jr. back? Because
he's a great actor, and I love him.
And true. Now, the only way this Avengers Doomsday movie, look, it's going to work because you got the fantastic directors and the fantastic writer from the previous Marvel movies, and they know how to just tap your pulse and make you feel enthralled to watch a movie.
Oh, they're some of the most exciting cinema I've ever experienced in the theater.
It really
it's just
is
incredible.
And that's part of the big news is Downey would not come back unless the Russo brothers. It was kind of a package deal.
Sure.
So basically they paid him they're paying him $80 million.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're paying the Russo brothers $80 million.
Oh, I thought they were paying
40 per movie. No, it has not been disclosed how much Robert Downey Jr. is making, but he got that back end deal on Iron Man.
Right.
He made $50
It's going to make mad money.
Made $50 million per Avengers Infinity War, $50 million for Endgame. Damn. So he could probably make the same, and maybe if he's smart, get a back end deal because he gets a percentage of anything Iron Man sold.
Damn, dude.
Perpetual until
rolling in it as fuck.
So Lord. What if he said, "Hey, yeah, that's great. I'm doing that for Doom as well." So now you have that Iron Doom money. Yeah. So the rest of his bloodline will never have to want for anything
ever.
But here's what I want to see out of, if you're going to give an actor of Robert Downey Jr. that much money, he is going to be the villain in it. I want to see the movie from the villain perspective.
Would they do that? Do you think Marvel would do that?
If you have Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah, maybe. I feel that.
I want to see it from his perspective. I don't want to see him in the movie for 15 minutes here and 4 minutes there, monologuing and eventually killing people. No, I want to see him swatting these pesky Avengers and scheming. I want him to be the focus of the movie. Avengers Doomsday, I want to see Doom front and center.
That would be sick.
A lot. In the mask all the time forever. Because my favorite
I think that'd be a great way to shake all this shit up too, because people are feeling samey. Like I'm one of those people who's like getting a little bit of this samey feeling from Marvel and the MCU and all that shit. And that would be such a brilliant way to like really kind of shake things up and give people something a little bit different. It's not going to be wildly different, but it is going to be different enough to where I think people would get over this sort of fatigue of all of this.
Originally wanted they were trying to cast Doom forever. I originally wanted Henry Cavill to play Doom.
Oh, okay.
That was always my pose, but now he's kind of Wolverine, but whatever. But because there's a storyline in the Fantastic Four where you never see Doom's face, and you always assume that he is just scarred horribly, like something bad happened, all that. And finally, they reveal his face, and he is the perfect man. He is stunningly handsome.
Okay.
Yet he has a little scar, maybe a 1/4 inch under his left eye. And because he got that scar, he is so full of hubris. He thinks he is too disgusting for the world to see.
Holy shit. That's kind of interesting.
And it just played into it perfectly for me. I like this.
Yeah.
This is Doom.
And the first iteration, actually, like as bad of a movie it is, the casting of Doctor Doom was really good because it was one of the guys from, I don't know if you ever remember the show Nip Tuck.
Yeah,
I know it, but I haven't seen it.
It was one of the plastic surgeons who was the most vain,
very stunning, beautiful man.
Yeah, he like
playing someone who's like still like looks great. Only they think
only like he's just he's horrified by this little.
Okay, right. That's kind of. I think that's actually kind of brilliant in a way, and that makes me excited.
There was a Batman villain called Calendar Girl. And this came from the animated series, and she always wore a mask.
Okay.
And because she was obsessed with being young and being beautiful, so they thought she wore a mask because maybe a plastic surgeon, maybe speaking of nip and tuck, maybe nipped here when he should have tucked there. And at the end reveal, her mask is taken off, and she is stunningly beautiful, but she is just horrified because all she sees is her imperfections.
Okay.
And I thought that is such a psychological trip.
I like it.
And I loved it when smart writers would take the helm of that. And I hope Robert Downey Jr. is a stunning man. He's one of the world's greatest actors.
I love him.
He's finally got Oscar Gold. He's been Oscar nominated for playing a guy.
Yeah.
But could he? Is he coming back? Well, one of the things is, money. Everybody loves money. I'm going to give you $1 trillion. Yeah, guess what? Yeah, I'm showing up. But what if he's taking a swing at Oscar tin for a superhero movie? Because Doom is going to be nothing but performance.
Oh, that would be.
It is. I think he's the only one that has the ego big enough to pull off that character.
That is Doom. Doom is ego.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Downey, if anything, it just oozes ego. Whenever even when
he's so great.
It was, and that's honestly I was a little disappointed by his Oscar speech because I wanted the real human, and it was Robert Downey movie star, Robert Downey Jr. movie star accepting.
Yeah, sure.
And I think
unless that's him now,
that ego will absolutely serve the character well.
I believe so. So I know a lot of people are not happy with the cast because he was Iron Man. Yes, guess what? He was.
This conversation just made me way more excited about it because I am really curious to see where all this goes. All of this shit is new to me. I've never read the comics. I only know kind of what's happened in the movies and what you guys are especially Brad, what you just proposed and stuff. It makes me excited. Russo brothers, Disney, please give us something different. And I feel like you have all of the magic at your hands to give the people something a little bit different, subvert expectations, and
let's have some fun.
Yeah. Yes. No shit for real.
If you're listening, recommend and share so that we can change the view of all the Marvel minions that are
angry or happy.
Well, I was gonna say I think a lot of them are mad right now.
Let them be
and want something a little bit different. And I don't know how.
Because everybody wants Tony Stark back, but guess what? He died for a reason.
I agree. I am feeling that.
Victor Von Doom. He just kind of looks like Tony Stark.
Yeah, right. There it is. And he is a lot older now, so I think it could work.
He's gonna wear.
I've been sold. That shit just all sold me as fuck. I'm excited. Do we have more news, Mr. Coach?
No, that is the news.
Okay.
All
right,
this week.
One thing I've been dying to know about, I saw it in the fucking document, and there's an Olympic.
My trivia, my Olympics
I have to know
trivia.
because I have no idea, dog. I have literally no idea.
It is awesome, but I will also give it away a little bit by saying it's kind of sad.
Oh,
so there is a person who has existed on this planet Earth that has or won both an Oscar and an Olympic gold medal.
Okay.
So we're going to kind of throw it out there as who is it? I know Chad is pulled it from the text, but Brad is getting that blind. So, Brad, would you have any guess?
Well, I'm trying to think. Okay. So within acting, I'm trying to roll like
when Oscar doesn't even really have to be
see that's
acting,
the thing. That's what I was just
anything.
about to say. It does not necessarily have to be. Is it for acting?
It is not for acting. It is a producing or even self-producing.
Okay. I don't know producers. Unless they're also acting in it.
We had kind of mentioned it before that the guy that played Johnny Lawrence is an Oscar winner for directing a short. So this gentleman, I will say, was a producer on a movie, but it was a documentary.
Oh, okay. God, I really don't know. I like documentaries, but
very well. Help us out, dude.
So I will pull the veil back, and it is the late great Kobe Bryant, who won as a producer for the Kobe documentary.
Really?
Oh, okay. And that makes a lot of sense for real.
He won for for playing basketball. So with one of the dream teams.
Hell yeah. No, that's so dope. And
that's cool.
I loved it, man. It took everything I had not to look it up, but I was like, man, I just kind of
I didn't look it up.
See how this plays out. And yeah, interesting stuff. And the Olympics are happening, guys. I don't know when. I think now. I mean, I know they're happening now, or for how long, or whatever.
Yeah,
so
people are mad at the opening ceremonies
for now. Yeah, the opening ceremony. It was very French. Hey, where's the Olympics at? Oh, it's in France. Got it.
Yeah,
it just struck me as very boomers mad, and like I honestly just muted the word Olympics on Twitter because I'm so tired of like the manufactured outrage over it that I couldn't do it anymore, and I'll unmute it when this shit is over, whenever it's over.
Yeah, well, we're done with outrage, so we only want to bring you fun recommendations.
We're only outraged about Marvel. No, I'm just kidding.
Ridiculous trivia, and I will. Well, let's end with this. Okay, what are you guys looking forward to? What's next? For me, it's Trapped.
Yeah, same. I'm excited. I hated Old. I didn't really love Cabin at the End of the World because I read the book on that, which I did like pretty well. I didn't love the movie though. I thought it was okay. So like I'm going into this cautiously optimistic. I've really, really liked some M. Night shit, and I've really disliked some others. So but I'm seeing it literally like the first available chance I get to, which I wish was tomorrow night, but which would be Thursday.
Well, I was going to go see it tomorrow night, but I got a mandate with my buddy Tim. We're going to go see Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh hell yeah! But yeah,
so
I'm seeing it Friday early.
I'm seeing it Friday at like 1:00 or so.
Yeah, same. That's exactly like what I'm doing. So we're going to be like in a movie theater together, dude. Like, oh yeah.
Well, it's FaceTime.
I like it.
I think that's illegal. I think that's illegal.
Yeah,
and I know you've got.
Look for the shorts that we're going to do right after it.
That's right. Absolutely.
So this is going to be a big dump for movies this week. There is a bunch of little indie ones I'm checking out. One is called Kneecap.
Yeah, I'm interested in that one too.
When rap kind of takes over Ireland during basically the IRA and all the conflicts there.
It looks really good.
Yeah, you showed me that trailer. That does look really good.
I think Michael Fassbender is kind of the biggest name in it, but it looks really awesome. There's another one called Dee Dee,
which is for this one as well.
A coming of age by a young Asian kid. So it's kind of like the coming of age from a different point of view.
Cool.
I'm going to see the Indian movie Rayan, which looks like a just absolute, like it makes Kill that we all saw kind of look like a real dirty dungeon version.
Oh god, hell yeah!
Oh,
I haven't noticed that playing at my theater. I'm gonna have to look though. I know we've mentioned it in the chat,
all weekend here.
Yeah, like it's suddenly they're dropping all these little movies, and I think it's coming to one of my art houses near me. Is the movie Sing Sing?
Oh, I want to see it so bad, dude.
Yes, which is like the prisoners rehabilitating themselves through Shakespeare.
Yeah, and I'm a sloppy thought for A24. Put all of it in me as hard and fast as you can. That's how I feel about A24, guys. And Sing Sing is A24. So I'm here with, I'm open, guys. I'm so excited about it. Thank you so much for listening again. It's always so much fun to sit and chat with these fucking guys and just talk movies and talk about what we love. And we appreciate you tuning in and listening. And again, I know you've heard it, guys, but this will be our 3rd episode on our YouTube channel. So hit us up at Scene Invaders Podcast YouTube, Scene Invaders YouTube. And of course, as always, if you've been an audio listener anywhere you get your podcasts, and we appreciate you guys and love you and appreciate you tuning in. Good night.
Night, everybody.
Later.
I've hit end recording, but it never.